Hello everyone and welcome to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah and today I will be doing a reading for the sign of Aries for 2024, the year of the wooden dragon. So this is going to be very, very exciting time, especially the first 6 months for Aries. Is going to be a really fruitful time where you will see a lot of results based on the actions that you've been doing. So definitely take advantage of this time frame. The first 6 months of 2024 is going to be action-packed for you, Aries. The second part of 2024 is going to be a time of reflection. As you know, I've already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards, and this is the spread that I have for you today. Please only take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. In the past position, we have the Knight of Cups, clarified by the Devil. In the obstacle position, we have the Hierophant, clarified by the Seven of Cups. In the advice from Spirit, we position have the Three of Cups, clarified by the Six of Pentacles. In the first part of 2024, we have the Fool, clarified by the Two of Cups. In the second part of 2024, we have the Eight of Swords, clarified by the Hanged Man. Before I get into the spread, I do want to mention that we have moved into basically the age of Aquarius. That's going to bring about a lot more freedom for people, like en masse, for people in general. So people at the top, like the elites, they're going to be having less power, and the people, just regular people, are going to have a lot more freedom, a lot more power, a lot more ability to create the future than they did previously. And this is definitely a major turning point with how people are thinking and approaching their daily lives. So this, is just another layer of impact that you will be experiencing. Now, in the past position, we have the Knight of Cups, which is a great card, whether it is in the personal aspect or professional aspect. The Knight of Cups is all about creativity and using imagination to manifest wonderful things into your reality. The Knight of Cups also reminds us to follow our passions, to allow our emotions to live and not suppress them. Usually when the Knight of Cups makes an appearance, there's definitely an overall improvement in health as well. But he's all about focusing on, humanitarianism, and compassion, and giving back as well. He has a very kind of gentle approach when he's dealing with circumstances and with people in his life as well. And so, usually when you receive the Knight of Cups, it tells me that you are able to manage your impulses and your emotions quite well in the recent past. We do see, however, that the Knight of Cups is clarified by the Devil. The Devil doesn't like to rest, especially when you are doing well. He will bring about distractions, misinformation, to get you confused, to get you away from the path that you're supposed to be on. He likes to dangle temptations in front of you so that you are, again, distracted from the wholesomeness, distracted from, the focusing on the fact that you are an embodiment of the energy of love. he likes to, get you into places, into thinking, about being addicted to stuff. It could be shopping, it could be watching too much TV, it could be drinking too much soda. There's so many different, addictions that the devil likes to get people wrapped in. And so these two energies, the Knight of Cups and the devil, are kind of conflicting, because the Knight of Cups is all about, generosity and being open-hearted and kind of giving that compassion and nurturing to people, whereas the devil is all about manipulating and distracting. And so in the past, you did experience a little bit of a bad influence from someone in your surrounding. It could be someone in your personal life or professional life that kind of got you distracted because you bought into their, niceness. You bought into their sweet approach that turned out to be somewhat, manipulative. And so, it's very important to pay attention to people and the energies that they bring towards you. But the lesson here was the one to learn how to kind of handle temptation, to learn how to handle falling into the traps that your mind gravitates towards. And so, it's important to remember that planet Earth is about lessons, learning lessons, because that expands your consciousness, that expands your ability to handle with bigger problems. The more problems you solve, the more you're able to take on to your shoulders, the more you're prepared for, the ultimate kind of exploration, the more you're prepared to handle increasingly difficult things. Now, in the obstacle position, you have the Hierophant, which is interesting to me because when the Hierophant appears in the obstacle position, it tells me that you may be choosing between what's more traditional and what's not traditional, because the Hierophant is all about following the rules and following the traditions that have been, placed by the people that come before us, by our ancestors, and society as a whole, community as a whole. But sometimes those traditions need to be changed. Sometimes those traditions become outdated. And so sometimes those traditions stand in our own way of progressing. And so the divine here is saying, are there any traditions that may be standing in your way of progressing? Is there a belief system that has been passed down by generations that may be standing in your own way? Because there is a concept of evolution. Sometimes beliefs systems need to evolve. Sometimes traditions need to evolve because time teaches us new things, and our minds, evolve, and things that used to be difficult before are easier, become easier with times. And so sometimes traditions need to evolve, and when they don't, they kind of create a blockage for us of moving forward. Sometimes the Hierophant can be a blockage when you only see what you've been taught, when you are impacted by your ancestors to such a high degree that you don't see anything else. Sometimes you worship your parents or you worship your teachers to such a degree that you don't allow any kind of new concepts to enter your life. And so keeping an open mind is just as hard as keeping an open heart. It's easier to have a closed mind because then everything is in order, and you don't need to step outside of yourself. The same thing with keeping a closed heart. You decide that only one, this is the only way to do things, to move forward or what have you. But there are many different ways. So to constantly keep the heart and the mind open is an undertaking in and of itself. Definitely, for some of you, there's a person that's creating a blockage that maybe is opposing you because you have a specific belief that does not sit well with them. So that's another thing to be on the lookout for in 2024. Make sure you keep your mind open. Make sure you entertain ideas. Just because you keep your mind open doesn't mean that you dive in and immediately make that your own. No. Keeping a mind open is simply allowing yourself to entertain a new idea, and you will have to entertain new ideas because there are rumors around the internet. I heard, I don't believe them, but I do keep a mind open to some degree that there's like new species being created, half man, half robot, and so maybe there's some sort of a depopulation happening all over the place. Where people, we do as people have to rely on ourselves more and more to preserve our own humanity. But a lot of progress is going to happen in 2024, and not a lot of people are ready for that progress. So it's very crucial to keep your mind open. It's very crucial to be grounded. It's very crucial to create a community where you live in which you can trust, because the progress is going to get us, this year in 2024. It's definitely going to be a groundbreaking year, and it's going to move really, really fast. And so there's going to be some chaos, and for that you need to keep yourself grounded. You need to stay within your own frame. But as long as you keep an open mind, and you kind of employ the creativity and the imagination, you should be able to gain advantage that is going to bring about, a lot of wonderful results your way. You also have the Seven of Cups in the clarifying position. Definitely tells me that there's an internal obstacle. So there's some work to do on the inside. Maybe you're easily distracted. Maybe you waste a lot of time on things like fantasizing, building illusions that are not backed by real data, if you will. Maybe you're in your head a little too much. Again, it's important to stay grounded. It's important to stay in your frame, and it's important to not allow your thoughts to run away with rumination, where one thought runs into another, into another, into another. There's just like all you have is thoughts running around in your head. It's important to have a strong grasp on reality. You're not God. You're not perfect. But that is where your advantage is. Embrace that humanity. Striving for perfection definitely wastes a lot of time. And so, therefore, you might not accomplish and learn as much in this lifetime. So it's important to stay away from illusions. It's important to stay away from fantasies because they can overwhelm us, they can confuse us, and they can distract us. Which again, that is something that the devil likes to do. Now, the advice from Spirit, Aries, in 2024 is for you to open up to others, and sometimes others can be a little bit like, why are you opening up to me? So it's important to remember that you need other people. It's important to remember that our community around us, helps us us become who we are, because you use the brain inside of you, but you also use the brain outside of you, the collective brain. And your mind communicates with the collective brain without you even being necessarily aware of it. As long as you have a thought, others can pick up on that thought. You don't have as much privacy in your mind as you believe you do. And again, it looks like we are moving towards reading each other's minds a lot more. So it's every time you have a thought, you give off a frequency. Every time you feel an emotion, you give off a frequency. That's why people always recommend staying in positivity. It's important to cultivate, positive thinking, and it's easier to do that when you have emotional support of a community around you. So it's important to open up to others, enjoy, social connections, because that is what human beings are. We are part of a hive. We are together. We create a collective brain, and that collective brain helps us. It helps literally each and one of us to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves. Be joy, cultivate joy. Think of how you can be, in the energy of love. Do you need things for that? Do you need a specific ambiance for that? Like, what can you do to cultivate love right now, where you are at in this very moment? Because it's not about things that are around you. The things are the matrix. You're the source. Remember, people have spent a long time taking God out of you, but God is on the inside of you. You don't need, to go to a specific location. You don't need to do anything, because God is already on the inside of you. The programming, when it comes to religion and church and all of that, has been it's programming that has happened over centuries, and like the Vatican, the Vatican is it's the Roman Empire that turned into the Vatican, and it's all about collecting artifacts and wealth. It's not so much about necessarily helping people. They could have done a lot more, and they didn't. And so it's important to remember that God is on the inside of you, and everything else, the house you live in, the car you drive, all of that is part of the matrix. So it's important to remember that you can cultivate joy with very, very little at your disposal. But that's the scary part, is if you actually cultivate joy, is if you channel togetherness, if you channel love. That's the scary part, because then you have all the power, and you take the power away from the others who are trying to control society. So it's important to remember with the Three of Cups to stop trying to do everything yourself. Connect with others, create circumstances where you connect with others. Emit the frequency that attracts people to you. Again, you don't need to change others. You don't need to change anything. The only thing you need to do is to channel joy, and everything falls into place, because you're the beginning. You are the starting point. It's like you're bending space and time. We are taught that you have to start at point A, and if you go in a straight line, you'll get to point B. But if you bend space and time, then the point B is going to come to you. And it's, think of the theory of relativity of Einstein. If you take a piece of cloth, right, and imagine that that is universe, and you put a ball inside, the cloth is going to create a dent, right? And that's how you bring about point B. It's really, you have to change the way you think, but it's very difficult to change the way you think because the programming is so strong. The programming occurs since day one that you're born. It's the doctors and the parents and the teachers and everything. It's the programming, the conditioning that they put inside of you. So step number one to channel joy is to just sit in a room and think about joyful things, and build, it's like, think about the first time you do it, you turn on a candle. When you become a master, it's like a whole flame, a huge, flame that burns and brings about love and joy and everything. So again, it's the way you think about joy, the way you think about love, the way you attract it has to change. And one of the first things to do is to try and minimize the programming, if you will. The Six of Pentacles is about generosity and giving and taking, which is kind of like equal exchange of energy. The Six of Pentacles reminds you that giving, is just as important as receiving. So working with energy is very, very important, and it starts with you. Now, in the first part of 2024, clearly you have a beginning of something amazing and new, which will require of you to take some risks, and which will require of you to take chances on circumstances. Take a chance on a person. Take a chance on a project. Take a chance on a loan to build something that you've always wanted to create. Take a chance on creating something new in your life. You want to seize the day. This is the time to carpe diem, as they say. The Fool is about an opportunity that is entering your life, and as scary as it may be to start something new, the Divine is putting the wind in your sails so that you feel courage and bravery where you may not feel it normally. And it is clearly regarding a particular partnership or relationship or business partnership. There's some kind of partnership that's going to make you feel like you can reach a new height, which is definitely truly amazing. Now, in the second part of 2024, you're going to be more in a reflective kind of mind frame. You're going to be working through some of the things that you need to let go. Again, some of that programming that keeps you stuck, some of that belief system that has been really truly ingrained inside of you, because the Eight of Swords is you creating sort of obstacles for yourself. And the Hanged Man is all about introspection. It's all about changing a perspective on something, on a view that you've had, that you've held a very, very long time. So it takes a lot of strength to change the perspective. It takes a lot of strength to see something in a new light. And so that will test your internal endurance. That will test your internal patience with yourself, because the obstacles are there in order to make you feel stronger, in order to help you make decisions faster, much more accurately as well. Again, remember, this planet is a realm where we learn about ourselves, and we learn about our emotions, and we learn about our belief systems. So see it as an opportunity to learn. Let's see what I also pulled an ancestor and angel oracle card. Let's see what it has for us. We have High Priestess, harness mystic power. Very interesting. The High Priestess has access to hidden knowledge. She reminds you that you have the ability to connect with energies that go beyond the human senses. Within you is a force of magic that is directed by your will. There's an opportunity for you to rise up at this time, but it requires dedication and discipline. You're being guided to look at what you are working on or at the situation before you and determine where your priorities are. Use your intuition. Use your innate sense of discernment. Use your inner voice in order to get yourself closer to your goal. When this card appears, this card is definitely all about intuition. And it's definitely all about knowing that you have the answers within. So it's important for you to trust and channel that inner voice. Let's see, the Shaman's Dream Oracle card I also pulled, that we have Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. This is a good card because it's saying that times are going to become easier for you. You will feel newly inspired as so many ideas come to your attention. Know that you are safe to explore different opportunities that you may have in front of you. Definitely your dreams, your desires, the Divine Feminine is greatly helping with that. So you'll feel that energy is easing up for you. Like, it is easier for you to work with energies. It is easier for you to come into alignment. It is easier for you to experience things, to attract things that you truly want to see in your life. So 2024 is going to be definitely about feminine divine energy. So you want to channel, but it's always important to balance. You don't want to become lopsided. So it's always important to balance, that energy. So for example, if you are super loving and super caring, you still have to go to the gym and get some of that aggression out, because it creates a balance between your divine feminine and your divine masculine. I also pulled a mystical wisdom card, and we have dreams. Believe in your dreams. Your mind is very, very powerful, because that is where consciousness is. And so your dreams are achievable. Maybe not at the scale that you believe originally, but you'll be surprised how you can achieve absolutely stunning and amazing dreams. So do remember, it starts with you. As you work to expand your consciousness, then dreams start to fall into place, and then you have bigger dreams and bigger ideas. So it's important to remember that your dreams are very valuable. Do not suppress them. Do not, put them in a cupboard and forget about them. Make sure that you are doing something every single day to keep that dream alive and to bring it into manifestation with every action that you do. I hope you enjoyed this reading, Aries. It's definitely a great 2024 that will happen for you. I do recommend that you stay in positivity, that you channel joy, that you channel togetherness, that you channel really positive vibration. Remember, the devil especially comes, to distract you when you are doing well. So keep your head down, don't kind of boast or brag or communicate too much about all the things you want to achieve, but channel joy. It's very, very important to stay in high vibration. The more you stay in high vibration, the easier it will be. If you fall, you can pick yourself back up and, climb and channel that high vibration again. As long as you stay in high vibration, things will unfold beautifully. But if you lower your vibration, then, you may get a little bit tangled up. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I'll see you next time.